Hey YouTube, how are you? So, I decided to do a review today. This is not not my typical review. Um, well, it's because it's going to be like a long overall sort of general review on one of the um, entertainment uh, companies or that I am a fan of. So I mean the last Marvel reviews that I did were regarding Guardians of the Galaxy and Wolverine and Deadpool. I haven't really done much as far as critiques and reviews on my fanship, my enjoyment from the Marvel movies. Because although I have taken a side on the Star Wars and Star Trek fanship, I have chosen Star Trek. Only because after 9 Star Wars movies, I'm sort of over it. But I know you could say the same thing about Star Trek. I guess you could say, well, no, Star Trek had just as many movies. I guess I just finally decided that maybe it's because I'm older now that I prefer the Star Trek uh, way of showing space travel stuff. I prefer the Star Trek way. Okay, now having said that, the reason that I did not do an extended review of my Marvel fanship stuff is because I still have not decided whether I like DC or Marvel better. I still like them equally. So I didn't want to mislead myself or anybody who actually pays attention to my reviews that I like Marvel more than DC or DC more than Marvel because I like them equally. So now, with all that prelude, now I can begin to talk about what I want to talk about, which is why I'm a Marvel fan and what I've liked um, for the past decade or more that Marvel has put out. Okay, so generally speaking, it all began. I became a Marvel fan. Well, actually, I don't think I can say that I was a true blue Marvel fan until I had seen both a Captain America and a Thor movie. Once I saw both a Captain America and a Thor movie, then I could say, yeah, I'm a Marvel fan. But it all started with the first Iron Man movie. Um, yeah, that was a long time ago. I think that was like way back, and like I think I saw that like I want to say it was 2008 or 2009 when I saw the first Iron Man movie. It was a long time ago. And I had no idea when I first saw that first Iron Man movie. I had no idea that that Marvel was gonna put out movie after movie after movie and superhero after superhero after superhero. I didn't know that Marvel was gonna do that. I had no idea, you know. But I mean, like I said, after I saw a Captain America movie and a Thor movie, I was like, Iron Man, Captain America, Thor. Yeah, I'm definitely a Marvel fan. Okay, now I'll tell you what I liked about all of the movies that I've seen. And I don't know, I don't think I've seen every single thing that Marvel has put out. I haven't seen everything, but I think that as a fan, I've seen most of it. I think I've seen most of the stuff that Marvel has put out for the superheroes and the superhero um, stuff, the Avengers and all that stuff. I think I've seen most of it, and I have my favorite stuff, and I have some stuff that some critiques that of things that I don't think I didn't like or I didn't understand why that had to be done. So I'm just gonna go through the movies and the years of what I've seen in Marvel and what I like and what I didn't. Okay, so let's start with Iron Man since that's how it all started for me. Iron Man 1, 2, and 3. Yes, I saw them all. Um, which one was my favorite? I don't know. I don't know. I can't really pick a favorite from the Iron Man trilogy because to me they were all equally good. I don't know. I mean, everybody. Like I said this before in another review when I was talking about trilogies. It's so easy to say, well, the first one was the best. Not necessarily. Like I said, with the Star Wars, the first Star Wars trilogy, Return of the Jedi was my favorite of the first trilogy. So that's not the first one. It's not always the first one. Um, I don't know. It's just, I mean, with Iron Man, they were all good. So I didn't have a favorite. All right. So moving on. I don't. Oh, I'll just say one more thing about the Iron Man trilogy. I mean, Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man was awesome. Pepper was a great character. We got to know, it was a great way to comprehend Shield and stuff like that, and understand, you know, uh, what was leading to the Avengers and all that stuff. So that was a great. It was a great trilogy, and I really enjoyed that. I don't have any major critiques about that. I mean, I think I will say one thing about the slight pieces or feelings of romance that they show between Pepper and Iron Man. Um, I mean, she's his girl, Pepper is his girl. But it's a really different kind of relationship, and I always thought it was cute because I really think that the actress, Gwyneth Paltrow, who played, Pepper, she just has a great way of playing the girl, she's so likable. But I did think it was very funny later on when Iron Man is having sort of a debate with Thor about their girls, and, I mean, I thought that was funny because throughout the movies of watching these superheroes, you don't see Iron Man sort of get puffy about Pepper to another person. He's always sort of keeping that relationship on the low and not really, letting people see that he has extremely strong feelings for Pepper. So it's kind of funny when he puffs up and gets in Thor's face and gets competitive about, well, Pepper's better. He said something like that when Thor was complimenting his girl. I think Lady Thor, or he was complimenting. They were, I don't know, they were just being silly boys, But even superheroes can be silly boys. Anyway, so yeah, Iron Man 1, 2, and 3, thumbs up. That's no major critiques. Okay, then the next trilogy that I went to see was Captain America, and I mean, I don't know what it is about Captain America, especially Chris Evans. I mean, I know there's a new Captain America coming out, and I'm interested to see how that goes. But I mean, Chris Evans as Captain America was just perfect. I mean, what a great casting that was. I don't know. I think it's really hard now for as Marvel has been trying to figure out who's going to be Captain America. I mean, Chris did his trilogy as Captain America um, with such a lovely finesse, and it's really hard to replace him in that role because it's not like replacing Batman or replacing Superman in DC. There was more room and acceptance in our hearts for a replacement. But with Chris Evans, it's really difficult um, to see Captain America as anyone but Chris Evans because he sort of had this beautiful blend of, you know, the nice guy. He was just such a perfect nice guy. And that was just so charming for Captain America. And so it's really hard, I think, for me as a fan and maybe other fans to see someone else taking that role because I don't think that we believe that anyone can be or as nice and as believable as nice. So that's gonna be weird. Okay. That's again 1, 2, and 3. They were all the Captain America movies were brilliant and amazing, and I loved them. I watched them, and the Iron Man trilogy and the Captain America trilogy. I watched it over and over. I loved those trilogies. I think I do have a favorite though for the Captain America trilogy. I don't know what it was, but I think Winter Soldier was my favorite of the trilogy, because we really got to see um, the Bucky situation in that trilogy. It was Winter Soldier where we got to know about Bucky and the nostalgia and the sentimentality of their lifelong friendship and what nice guy Captain America will go through just for the loyalty of a friendship. I mean, it hit the heart. I think Winter Soldier really hit the heart out of the Captain America trilogy. Okay, so then we also had the Incredible Hulk. Incredible Hulk is kind of hard to follow. It is. It's kind of hard to follow because not only, I mean, we know that Ruffalo, Ruffalo, I hope I'm saying his name right, played him in the Avengers and in at least one Hulk movie. But before Ruffalo took the role, there had been several other actors who had played the Incredible Hulk, and as a fan of Marvel movies, I had been a Spider-Man and an Incredible Hulk fan way before, the fans who know about the Marvel stuff these days, way before. See, when I was a kid, you don't even know how lucky I was. I mean, when I was a kid, I had Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Batman, and the Incredible Hulk. They had live action TV shows of those four. We had a Wonder Woman show, we had a Batman show, we had a Spider-Man show, and we had an Incredible Hulk show. That's how cool my childhood was. And then on Saturday mornings, we had all the animated stuff. My childhood was so cool. But so, now it's different. But I mean, now you had the Incredible Hulk, and I don't even know if you can call that a trilogy because it's disjointed. You had this one playing the Hulk with a different director, and you had that one playing the Hulk with a different director, and they all had these different styles. And it's kind of like what happened to Spider-Man. It's like, you know, the when the director and the actor, when they both change, everything looks totally different and it feels different. And you're going, that's Spider-Man or that's the Incredible Hulk. Anyway, it takes some getting used to, you know. But I liked Ruffalo's Hulk. I mean, he's not, you know, the Incredible Hulk of the TV show I grew up with. Of course, they changed it too because in the show that I grew up with, they used to call him David, but they all called the Hulk Bruce in the Avengers movies and the Marvel movies. He goes by Bruce, not David. But in the show that I watched, when Lou Ferrigno, the body double, would Hulk out, it wasn't like special effects. They had a body double, and it was Lou Ferrigno, and he was like this muscle man. He just said, "Ah," hulked out, and his name was David. They called him David. They didn't call him Bruce. Anyway, I don't know why I'm making this comparison. It's just, it's. I'm a fan, and this is how I make my comparisons based on what I liked when I was a kid compared to my adult tastes. So it's just different, it takes getting used to, it's like you eat some rice and then you put some salt on the rice. They're both good, but you got to get used to the difference. So anyway, I don't, like I said, I don't know if the Hulk has something you can call a trilogy, but of the Hulk movies that I saw, they were okay. I liked the Hulk. I liked Ruffalo's Hulk and Bruce character in the Avengers movies. But as far as the movie just on the Hulk, it wasn't as good as the show that I grew up with. The show that I grew up with had so much heart and soul in it, and it just wasn't depicted well in the movies that they tried to do. But he was a cool character in the Avengers movies. I do think that they did a good job with his character in the Avengers movies, but not as a standalone movie. Okay, the next one was Thor, and Thor has more than a trilogy. He has 1 through 4 movies now, and I wish it would have been just a trilogy because I thought the first 3 were perfection, and I had all my critiques on the 4th one. I've already mentioned that if you have seen me talk about it, I don't like the 4th Thor movie. I like the first 3. And I would say the same thing about the first 3 Thor movies that I said about the Iron Man trilogy. All 3 were equally brilliant, but the 4th one, I don't like the 4th one, and that's all I'm gonna say. I just didn't like it. Uh, but Thor is definitely um, one of my favorite Marvel characters. Um, Not just because he's gorgeous and a god, but because he's such a neat character. I mean, he's a god, but he also comes across sort of like Chris Evans, Captain America. He's funny and he's humble and he's down to earth, even though he's a god, and that's so cool. That's really cool. And then Loki. I mean, Loki's just icing on the cake because he's such a great villain. Even and you're always questioning whether you even want to call him a villain because sometimes he's not. Sometimes he's really cool. That's the weird thing about Loki. Anyway, so yeah, the first 3 Thor movies equally perfect, but I didn't like the 4th one. All right, so who's next? Black Panther. Then we got to see about Black Panther. Now, this is where there's some controversy and some sad stuff going on in the Marvel world because the first movie was like everybody was excited. I didn't see it. I didn't see it when everybody else was seeing it. I think I was going through a lot at that time in my life, and I just didn't really get to go see it. So I said, "Oh, it's okay. When my life gets better, I'll be sitting home and watching it one day." But then I heard terrible news that the actor who was playing that lead role of the Black Panther that he died. And I was like, "Oh my god, that's terrible." Everybody was so happy about the Black Panther movie, and then I hadn't even seen it. I still haven't seen it. I've only seen clips, so I can't even say much about it. Um, I didn't. I could have watched it like the past couple of years. I could have watched it, but after knowing that the main actor who had gotten cast, after knowing that he died, I didn't even want to watch it. I was like, I don't want to get attached. I don't want to get attached to a character that I'm never going to see again. That was so I just didn't like want to go watch it. All right, now I'm going to move on past that. Also, there are 2 other characters. There's the the what's her name? Widow, the Black Widow. Okay, Black Widow and Hawkeye, but Hawkeye didn't have his own movie. But Hawkeye and Black Widow were in all the Avenger movies, and Black Widow did get her own movie, which I was really glad about. And I had been hoping that Hawkeye was going to get his own movie too, so we could see, more about that character. And I don't know, they kind of leave it open because in the Black Widow movie, or was it in the Black Widow movie, or was it in the Avengers movie? I can't remember. No, it was the Avengers movie. It wasn't the Black Widow movie. Okay. I was getting confused there. Okay. Well, let me go to the Black Widow movie. I mean, the Black Widow movie came out after Avengers Endgame, and I liked it. I liked it. I really do. I love Scarlett Johansson. I think she's beautiful. She's fun to watch. She's all action. All action. I mean, my only critique on the movie for me Probably everybody else loved it, but for me, it was too much action. I was like dizzy. It's kind of like how I felt during the Deadpool Wolverine scene when there was like too much fighting going on. I get dizzy and it's just too much, like dramatic overload. I'm too sensitive, for that much. Um, Sensory overload, dramatic overload. But I mean, if you're into action and gorgeous chick, she delivers that. I mean, it's super fast packed action and she's just stunning to look at. So she's cool. I liked her movie and um as far as drama goes, I think it was really well done what they did with the backstory in the Black Widow movie. That was the parts that I really liked, especially her and I think it was her sister. I think we got to know a story between her and her sister, and that was really cool because there was some tender stuff going on there, and I really liked that. Okay. We didn't get a movie for Hawkeye, but what I wanted one, and I thought it might be cool that I thought maybe that would happen because um, in one scene, I think it was in an Avengers movie, Black Widow sort of sacrifices herself for Hawkeye, and he's pissed off about it. But that, to me, that left an opening for a Hawkeye movie. But I don't know. I mean, I never heard anything about that, so I don't know if that would actually happen or not. All right, who else am I? Am I forgetting somebody? I talked about Iron Man. I talked about Captain America. I talked about the Incredible Hulk. I talked about Thor and Loki. I talked about Black Panther, Hawkeye. Oh, yeah, okay. So I'm not going to talk about the various villains. I'm not really going to talk about them, and I'm not. And then there was a show, and then I'll talk about. Okay, so there's also the Scarlet Witch, and she had a show on Disney with that the character that was created by Iron Man. I forgot his Vision. Yeah, Vision, and that's what they called it, WandaVision. Scarlet Witch and Vision had a show called WandaVision, and it was pretty cool. Um, I don't know. I watched the Loki show for a while. I thought that was cool, and then I watched the WandaVision show for a while, and I thought they were both cool. I don't know if they were looking for more response or more ratings or something because they didn't get a very long run, but I thought they were very interesting. Maybe it's just because I'm a fan. I don't know, but I mean, the Scarlet Witch hasn't had her own movie and neither did Vision, but neither did Loki. But the Scarlet Witch was used, and here's the other one. This is the one I was forgetting in the second Doctor Strange movie. She was a major character in the second Doctor Strange movie. Now, as far as Doctor Strange goes, this is where I have an extreme shift in opinion. In the first Doctor Strange movie, I was blown away impressed. I was like, "Oh my god, this might be my favorite Marvel movie." That was at the first Doctor Strange movie, which I don't know when I saw it. I mean, it had to be right before, the Avengers movies were really getting super popular. Because it was right around that time. But anyway, I the first Doctor Strange movie, like, I wanted to give it better than 100% score. I just thought it was amazing and it was so great and I loved it. Which is why, maybe that's why the second Doctor Strange movie, I was like, and it's not because, I mean, I was glad that the Scarlet Witch was in the movie. I really like her. I was so excited. I'm like, yeah, Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange. But it was like they weren't even friends in the second movie. They weren't. They were like fighting each other. And they were both acting like assholes. I'm sorry, but they were. They were both acting like assholes. Doctor Strange was act Oh shoot, I made this for kids. I'm so sorry I slipped. I shouldn't have said the A word. I'm probably gonna have to edit this for adults. I don't think I'm allowed to say the A word to kids. My bad. Kids, I'm sorry. I said a bad word. I shouldn't have said that word. I slipped. I don't usually make videos that are open for kids to see. I don't know what to call Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange too, but they were acting very badly. They not their acting performances, but their characters. Their characters were terrible in Doctor Strange too. And I'm sorry I used a bad word. Now I feel guilty. I'm gonna stop now because I see I'm not used to making videos for kids. I have a problem with using profanity, and I don't know how to stop that. So sorry.